Oh, BMW on the M Performance splitter. So we'll start. What was that? We've got on a Grabación exhaust. It can be a bit of a handful. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by AutoTopNL. My name is Max, and today we've got another viewer's car. This is Paul's BMW M2 competition, and it is not stock. This car has a tune, it's got an Venturi intake, and it's got an Grabación exhaust. So today I'm going to show you around it. We're going to focus today on the tuning, of course, and on what it feels like to drive this, well, this little beast, because it is super powerful. So I'll walk around it quickly, show you a couple of additions, modifications, and then we'll take it for a drive towards the Autobahn for an Autobahn blast. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you want to receive updates when we upload a new video. And check us out on Instagram if you like, at AutoTopNL, for some behind the scenes footage. So let's start at the front, because the M2 competition has the cool new front bumper, of course, with these three little gaps in the bumper, in the lower part of the bumper, which makes it look super aggressive. It's got the new grille, and Paul added this M Performance splitter with this little winglet on the side, which looks pretty aggressive. Very nice. It's a cool addition. We've got the competition wheels, of course, and we've got Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires. Now, Cup 2s are basically track tires for the street. They are super great when they're hot and when the tarmac is dry. When it's wet, it's super tricky. And oh, just look at the sidewall of this tire with those little flags. That looks so awesome. I really like these. I'm caressing this tire actually, because I really love the Cup 2s. When they're hot, they're magic. At the rear, we've got on a Grabación exhaust, as I said, with the carbon tips. We've got a carbon fiber rear spoiler, which I think from a distance looks pretty cool. Nice and aggressive, but it doesn't really fit that well. But it is a nice addition to the M2, especially I think the M2's rear with this Grabación exhaust, with those bigger tailpipes and that spoiler, makes it look so much better, because the stock one can feel a bit, I don't know, 2 series-ish, not really beefy enough. Oh, BMW. So what do we have? Of course, the competition has this carbon fiber strut, which looks awesome. We've got the Venturi intakes, as you can see, and we've got the S55 3-liter inline 6 engine, stock 410 horsepower, 550 newton meters of torque, which is nice, but it's not that much, and you can really feel that they have, well, limited the engine, because the M2 competition couldn't be faster than an M3 or an M4. Well, this car is faster than an M3 or an M4. It has an ECU remap, an Venturi intake, and an Grabación exhaust, as I said. 585 horsepower, 790 newton meters of torque. That is serious business. That's a lot of power. 175 horsepower over stock. And with Cup 2 tires on this short of a wheelbase, that is, it equals fun. That's basically it. So we'll start. What was that? Crazy bird. So we've got a better sound than stock, I would say. It's a bit louder than stock, and there are a few bangs in there as well, but it's not really crazy loud, which is good. Okay, so MDCT, we'll put the car in M2 but turn the traction control into MDM mode, because I've driven this car for 5 minutes and it is freaking tricky. The MDCT gearbox also has BMW M4 GTS software on it, so the shifts should be a bit better, a bit quicker. and the overall experience with the gearbox should be a little bit more aggressive, basically. So, what do you feel when you drive this car? Well, a lot of torque. That's basically it. It is so punchy. The mid-range power of these engines is already insane in a BMW M3 or M4 or an M2, but with this 585 horsepower, 790 newton meters, it's just insane. It is so beefy. You can feel those rear tires just squeaking like under the pressure and the power, but still gripping because they're quite... We've heated them up already, so they should be quite warm, and when they are, they grip so well. Oh, and when it hooks up, it is so freaking fast. I mean, Jesus, it doesn't really matter which gear you're in, it always goes. Oh, that's insane. A little wheel spin in first gear and then second and third just hook up like... Oh my God, this is a seriously quick car. Oh, I love it. It fixes that feeling you get in an M2 competition of the engineers like squeezing the engine, not allowing it to deliver its potential. And when we drove the M2 CS, which has 450 horsepower, we felt that, like, you know, that's the M3 competition setup, so that feels so much better. Oh. And then you're driving that M2 CS and you're thinking, wow, that's a really quick car. That's a good amount of horsepower for an M2. And this just demolishes that. 135 horsepower over the M2 CS. The sound, I mean, it's pretty quiet. Oh man, love it. Okay, the amount of grip is actually pretty insane. I wasn't really expecting that. I don't want to think about what this car is like to drive in the rain, in the wet, on these Cup 2s. I don't think you'll get anywhere, but right now, when they're hot on a dry tarmac, it is seriously impressive. And I mean, that MDCT gearbox with that GTS software, it's so quick and aggressive and racy. And when I drove the new M3 on track, oh, that second gear, my God. When I drove the new M3 on track, I said, you know, the new ZF 8-speed, it is a better gearbox to drive every day. But the old DCT is better to drive on track. Well, I'm driving this car right now, and I have to say, I think BMW made a mistake going to the ZF 8-speed automatic gearbox instead of this dual clutch transmission, because it feels so much better in this M car, in this M setup, this aggressive car. I mean, this MDCT is just so much better. The shifts are so quick, and yes, when you drive it on a regular day, it can be a bit of a compromise. It can be a bit of a handful. It feels like it's got a mood, you know? It's not easy, it's not smooth. but when you're on it, I mean, those shifts are so much quicker than the automatic, and it just feels, it's just better. It's more satisfying. You got a nice shove in your back as well. Man, what a car. Oh, it is. It's a pretty tricky car to drive, I can imagine, but it is a lot of fun. And this tune, it really fixes one of the biggest problems the M2 has, which is straight line performance. It just doesn't feel as powerful as I think an M should feel and perform. I'm actually having trouble getting it sideways because it has so much grip. But the straight line performance in this, of course, we measured the 100 to 200 time. The stock M2 competition, we measured that at 10.59 seconds. This one, 7.24. So that's such a big difference. It is so much quicker than stock. It feels so much more powerful. And oh man, this is a seriously quick car. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's what the M2 deserves. Small, short car, big engine, big power is always a guarantee for fun. So that's it. We're back at the gas station. We're going to give the car back to Paul. Thank you, Paul, so much for taking the car to us. Absolutely loved it. I hope you enjoy it. Well, I know you will enjoy it because it's awesome. To you guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also check out this video or go check out this playlist. See you at the next one. Bye.